Have you ever looked at your bank account and wondered, where the heck did all my money go this month? Don't worry mate, you are not alone. Because for better or for worse, we humans are a creature of habit. And if you want to break a bad habit, you need to replace it with a good one. And that is why in this video, I'm going to discuss 10 bad money habits that is keeping you poor. But don't worry, because I will also tell you how to fix these bad habits and replace them with good ones. So if you're interested, let's get started. The first bad habit is spending more than you earn. I would say this is one of the biggest problems for people who are bad with money. I mean, the maths is simple. If you are earning $2,000 per month and spending $2,500 in the same month, then not only are you not getting richer, you are also getting poorer. If you are currently doing this, then please stop it. You need to sit down and build a budget for yourself. Unfortunately, budgeting wasn't a subject in school, even though it should have been. So the easiest way to budget is to open an Excel or Google spreadsheet. Or if you don't have Excel, then just use a piece of paper. Then you write down what you earn every month, which is your income, and what you spend every month, which is your expense. And if your expenses are higher than your income, then you need to break down these expenses into either a need or a want. A need is something you have to pay in order to survive, so it's an expense that you cannot live without. For example, your rent, food, utility bills, and insurance. A want is something that is a luxury item which you don't necessarily need to survive. For example, your Netflix, Spotify, alcohol, and other entertainment expenses. Then you need to be honest with yourself and decide what's truly important to you. And if you can't live without all these items, then you need to increase your income. So in order to get ahead with your finances, you must start earning more than you spend and spend less than you earn. The next bad habit is not paying yourself first. So what do I mean by this? Let me set the scene here. Your monthly paycheck comes in, and since you've been working so hard, you spend a large portion of it to entertain yourself by going out, shopping for new clothes, and buying expensive dinners. Then you might pay a few bills so the electric company won't turn off your lights. And only after that, you save what little is remaining. So you are paying yourself last. This is the wrong order. You need to be paying yourself first by transferring a portion of your paycheck into a separate account for either investing or saving for a big expense item like a house deposit. Then you pay some bills that you need to survive. And only after that, you can choose to spend what is remaining to have some fun. If you do it in other order, then you are doomed to be stuck in the rat race forever, where you don't really make any progress towards financial freedom. So what I want you to do every month is to pay yourself first so you can use the money to create even more money for your future self. I would use a portion of it to invest in appreciating assets like stocks and real estate, your own business or side hustle, or even on yourself like learning a new skill. The other portion should be used to save for your emergency fund. Which brings me to the next bad habit, which is not having an emergency fund. An emergency fund is extra money you set aside in case you have some bad luck and require a lot of money to fix it. For example, your car breaks down or you lose your job. You should aim to have enough money saved up to cover all your living expenses for 3 to 6 months. And if you have a family to support, then you can increase that to 12 months. So this means enough money to cover your rent, mortgage payments, food, utility bills for that time period where you have no income. So that way, if you are ever faced with an unexpected emergency, you aren't forced to put excessive amounts on your credit card, or God forbid, getting a personal loan. This is how people end up with mountains of debt by simply not having an emergency fund. So think of it as an insurance against bad luck. You should be saving up for an emergency fund before even thinking about investing. Also, please remember, it is an emergency fund, so it's only for emergencies. Going on a spontaneous trip to Bali, unfortunately, does not count as an emergency, and neither is upgrading to the latest iPhone. What I would personally do is transfer your emergency fund to a different bank account and let it sit there collecting interest. I've actually made a video on the best savings accounts in Australia if you're interested. Then I would cut up the card they send you so you are not tempted to spend it. And then just keep the cash there accruing interest until you actually need it. The next bad habit is being too comfortable with bad debt. You may be thinking, wait a minute, if there is bad debt, then is there such thing as a good debt? Well, actually there is, and it's important to know the difference. Good debt are loans that allow you to finance something with the expectation that it will offer a good return on the investment. For example, home loans and student loans are both considered good debt. And this is because you are investing in something that is expected to grow in value over time. You get to own a house at the end of the home loan, and you learn new skills from a student loan. Bad debts are loans that do not provide a future return, and in fact will cause you to lose even more money. For example, credit card debt and high interest personal loans are considered bad debt. This is because you are charged huge amounts of interest for a loan that does not provide any future value. Unfortunately, bad debt like credit card debt is normalized in our consumer-focused society. Growing up, it was normal to see people use credit cards to buy things they cannot afford because financial literacy was not taught in school. So the new generation will be doing the same thing and the next generation after that. It is a vicious cycle that must stop. So if this is you and you are paying credit card interest, then please stop this cycle. Focus all your energy on paying off any bad debt. Now that's not to say credit cards are a bad thing. It's actually a wonderful tool, but you need to know how to use it properly. And if you're interested to know how, I have actually made a video about this and I'll link it down below. The next bad habit is prioritizing saving over investing. In my opinion, saving and investing walks hand in hand. You shouldn't do one without the other. Now don't get me wrong, saving money is a good habit. However, if you are doing nothing with that money and just keeping it in your bank account, you are actually losing money over time due to something called inflation. Inflation is the decrease in the purchasing power of your money, which is reflected in the general increase in the prices of goods and services within an economy. So basically it means you'll need more money to buy what you can buy today in the future. In Australia and America, inflation increases by an average of 2% per year. So in simple terms, your money is losing value in the bank because banks usually pay a much lower interest rate than inflation. And to combat inflation, investors will invest in appreciating assets like stocks and real estate, which historically returns a higher rate than inflation. So if you want to get ahead with your finances and grow your wealth, you can't really save your way to become rich, unless you have a high-paying job like a surgeon. But for mere mortals like the rest of us, investing your money into assets will help you grow and compound your wealth over time. So if you already have an emergency fund and you have excess cash in the bank, then consider investing some of it into appreciating assets. And if you don't know where to start, then I will link a video for beginners who want to start investing. So I suggest you check it out after finishing this video. The next bad habit is trying to keep up with the Joneses. So this basically means buying expensive things that your colleagues, friends, or neighbors have because you want to fit in. There's a great quote from the movie Fight Club that's always resonated with me. And the quote is, "We buy things we don't need with money we don't have to impress people we don't like." I feel this is hauntingly accurate in today's world of social media, where people feel the need to show off the new expensive toy on Instagram because they saw someone else do it, so they can receive validation from other people through likes. I think as humans, we are all guilty of this to a certain extent. By nature, humans seek validation, so we tie our self-worth to the items that we can afford to buy. If we see our friend, neighbor, or colleague buy something nice, we naturally get a bit jealous and want to do the same thing. You might see your neighbor driving a new BMW, so you end up also buying a new BMW on a high-interest car loan that you can't afford. You might see your high school friend buying a large house in a nice neighborhood, so you think, I want that too. So you end up buying a large house on a mortgage which you cannot afford. These are the types of decisions that young people make because they feel they need to impress everyone. But guess what? You may get a few wows for your new car for the first day, but then after that, no one cares anymore. You will find as you get older that everyone else is too busy worrying about their own lives. And once that dopamine hit dies down in a few weeks, that new car won't seem so special. So if you're in your early 20s or even 30s or 40s for that matter, I want to stress to you that it's okay to drive a Toyota Corolla instead of a BMW. It's also okay to live in a modest house which you share with your housemates to save costs. And just remember, if you can master delayed gratification, then the actions you take when you're younger will reward you exponentially when you're older. And by which time, if you still choose to have a cool car or a big house, then you can actually enjoy it properly, knowing that's what you want for yourself, and more importantly, what you can afford. The next bad habit is relying on a single source of income. Most of us have a full-time job, and that income is the only income we have coming in every month. However, as the pandemic showed, your job is never guaranteed. You could be on top of the world today and lose your job tomorrow. Losing your job would mean you'll have to start relying on your emergency fund to get you by until you find another job. That's if you have an emergency fund in the first place. However, the key to build wealth over time involves multiple streams of income. And ideally, you should aim to build multiple passive income streams over time. The reason I suggest passive income is because everyone only has 24 hours in a day, so the amount of active income you can earn is limited. Whereas, if built properly, passive income continues to pay you even when you sleep. One of the easiest ways to receive passive income is to invest in dividend stocks. These are stocks of a company that pay you 1 to 5% in dividends every year just for holding their stocks. Another example of passive income is rental income from renting out rooms in your house or investment property. Even if you have extra rooms in your house you're living in, you may consider renting out the rooms to receive additional income every month for basically doing nothing. And if you're super strategic about it, you could even have all the rental income in your house pay for your entire monthly mortgage payments. This is called house hacking, and it means you are essentially living in your house for free. If you're interested to find out other ways to make passive income, then I'll link a video I made down below. In addition to passive income, you can leverage the free time you have after your full-time job to start a side hustle. With a side hustle, you can either sell a product, whether it be digital or physical, or you can sell a service. That would be a skill that you are good at, such as web design, coding, or video editing. And with the popularity of online businesses, people these days pay a lot for these types of services. So whatever you decide to do, please don't rely on a single source of income. The next bad money habit is giving into lifestyle inflation, also known as lifestyle creep. This is when you spend more money as you earn more money. You get used to this newfound standard and it becomes your new normal. Lifestyle inflation usually happens after you get a promotion at work or a new job with a higher salary. We humans like instant gratification, so when we reach a milestone, we feel the need to reward ourselves. This is similar to Parkinson's law, where your work expands to fill the time available for its completion. The same happens when you have more money. Even though your current place is more than adequate, you suddenly want a nicer place to live. Even though your current Toyota is still reliable and in good condition, you suddenly want to upgrade to a nicer BMW. And even though your old phone still works just fine, you want to upgrade to the latest iPhone that just came out. This type of mentality also goes hand in hand with our previous bad habit about trying to keep up with the Jones. Human envy and jealousy may also play a part in justifying lifestyle inflation. The problem is, if you spend all your money now, you are never going to get ahead financially. You will always be stuck in limbo, chasing the newest shiny object and never being satisfied. So instead of buying a new car, why not make extra payments on your mortgage? Instead of upgrading to the newest gadgets, why not use the money to invest or start a side hustle? These are things that actually benefit you in the future. Now, of course, I'm not against having nice things. You need to enjoy your life after all. But I don't want you to get these nice things at the expense of your future. So take care of your financial future first, then you can have the nice things. The next bad habit is always hanging out with broke people. Now, this doesn't apply if you're still in school and all your friends are broke students. I mean, we were all once like that, right? These are for people who are already in the workforce, living an adult life. They say you are the average of your 5 closest friends. So if all 5 of your friends are broke and bad with money, then chances are you are the same. This is because humans naturally try to imitate the people around them, so you will be picking up their bad habits. So if you want to be successful, you should try to surround yourself with more responsible and successful people. That way, you pick up on their good habits. If you are the least smartest person in your group, then it means you will learn a lot from the people around you. Also, don't be afraid to cut off toxic people in your life. These are the ones that always borrow money from you and never pay you back, or make negative comments when you announce you're trying to start a business or to improve your life. You don't need these type of people in your life, and if you continue associating with them, then you will also become toxic and bitter. On the other hand, be generous to the people in your life that genuinely care about you. These are the people that will always have your back even during your toughest times. Treat these people well because true friends and family members are precious. As you get older, it will become more obvious to you who is on your side and who isn't. So be wary about who you spend a lot of your time with. By the way, if you enjoyed this video, then comment down below if you could start a side hustle, what would it be? Also consider subscribing to my channel because I'll be making a ton of future videos just like this and you don't want to miss them. Cheers guys, love you all. The next bad habit is not investing early. We previously talked about how it's a mistake to prioritize saving over investing, but another mistake many people make is waiting too long to invest. Oh, I'll invest one day, I'm just waiting for the right time. Sound familiar? You may be trying to find the perfect time to invest, but the truth is, there is no perfect time. Well, there is, but it's just like trying to predict the lottery numbers. It's impossible to time the market all the time, otherwise everyone will be doing it and everyone will be rich. You may get lucky once or even twice, but no one in history has ever managed to do it over and over again with 100% accuracy. Instead, we need to trust that historically, assets like stocks and real estate usually go up in value in the long term. Also, the earlier you invest, the more time you are giving your money to compound over time. And to demonstrate the power of compound interest, let's look at a case study between 2 investors. Ben starts investing at 20 years old. He started with $5,000 and continued to contribute $5,000 every year for the next 40 years. Assuming a conservative average return of 8% per year, by the time Ben is 60, he would have over $1.5 million and only $205K was the total money he invested. The remaining $1.3 million is pure profit from the compound interest. Now let's look at Brad, who delayed investing and only started when he was 30 years old. He starts with the same $5,000 and continues to contribute $5,000 every year for the next 30 years. Assuming the same return of 8% per year, by the time Brad is 60, he would have a total of $650,000 with $155,000 being the total he invested in. So he made a profit of about $500,000. Now that's pretty good, but if you compare it to Ben, you can see Ben made more than twice the amount in profits and all he had to do was invest an extra $50,000 over an extra 10-year period. This is a significant difference in my opinion. This is a demonstration of how the magic of compound interest starts to kick in significantly the longer you let your money stay invested. So if you want to earn more money over the long term, consider investing earlier. Now you may have noticed a lot of these habits include investing, and that is because unfortunately we can't save our way to financial freedom. We need to invest. So if you're a beginner and want to learn how to get started, I want you to go check out this video on screen where I provide a step-by-step beginner's guide on how to start investing in Australia. And spoiler alert, it's not as hard as you think, so go check it out. And with that being said, thank you for watching, I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next video.